2025 was one of the all-time great years for indie gaming. We finally got our hands on Hollow Knight Silksong, discovered the perfect RPG that we didn't know that we wanted in Clair Obscur Expedition 33, and once again told ourselves that we would stay up for just one more run in Hades 2. But that impressive streak of bangers doesn't end with 2025. 2026 is already packed with an impressive lineup of creative and charming indies that we can't wait to get our hands on. And these are only the ones we already know about. Let's dive into just a few of the exciting indie games that we can't wait to get our hands on in 2026. The original Enter the Gungeon became an instant cult classic thanks to its frantic bullet hell chaos, clever roguelike design, and an amazing art style where absolutely everything in the world was either gun, grenade, or some kind of bullet with creepy eyes, which also fires bullets. Which begs the question, do the bullets they fire also have creepy eyes? And do they also fire more bullets? And do those bullets... I've got to stop thinking about this before my brain melts. But in 2026, Enter the Gungeon 2 looks like it plans to level up in every way we can imagine, starting by upgrading from its pixel art confines and going full 3D. We don't know much yet, but we can assume we're still smashing through procedurally generated floors filled with the gundead. But now, with even more insane weapons, new enemies, and a whole new dimension to dodge, roll, blast our way through to survival. You know, sometimes I wish I could trade all the noise and stress of real life for a quiet week at magic school. Learn some spells, brew some potions, fix all my problems with just a flick of my wand. I guess I'll just have to settle for Witchbrook instead. That's right, we've been accepted to enroll at the prestigious magical school of Witchbrook College. Obviously learning to harness magical powers is very exciting and all that, but really, we're here for juggling class timetables, making some eccentric friends, and maybe a romance option or two. Outside of your magical classes, Witchbrook is leaning hard into life sim and social RPG aspects. It looks like the focus here is less about battling nasties and more about chatting with classmates, building relationships, and simply spending time in this magical world. When you're not needed within the school grounds, you can hop on your broom and explore Mossport City, a cozy seaside town full of quirky shops and activities. One moment you're attending a festival or grabbing ingredients, the next you're wandering the shoreline in full witch gear like it's the most normal thing in the world. The first Toem is one of our favourite indies of the last few years, precisely because it does what so few games dare to do: relax. No combat, no chaos, just a cozy black and white world full of quirky characters, tiny puzzles, and peaceful moments you captured through your trusty camera. Well, if a sequel to an action movie makes the cars faster and the explosions bigger, the sequel to a game like Toem makes the art style even cozier and the charm, well, just more charming really. Like the first game, Toem 2 sends you out into the world as a travelling photographer on a mission to track down new mysterious Toems. Rare moments of magic that can only be captured through your camera. It's a journey built around observation, kindness, and finding beauty in the quiet moments. The sequel upgrades its charming aesthetic with some new 3D elements and adds a climbing mechanic so we can get up nice and high to appreciate its gorgeous world from a new perspective, and get some nice aerial shots. Imagine Doom, but it's a 1930s vaudeville cartoon starring a gruff and grizzled mouse. Okay, that might actually be hard to imagine, I guess, but there's no need to use your imagination because, believe it or not, that's a real game called Mouse PI for Hire, and it really commits to that bonkers premise. Black and white film aesthetic, rubber hose animation, jazzy soundtrack, but also Tommy guns, double-barreled shotguns, even satanic chainsaws. You play as a grumpy private investigator who's found himself wrapped up in a crime case that's quickly spiralling out of control, before you find yourself blasting through mobsters, mutants, and anything else malevolent enough to slither out of a discarded animation cell. It looks like Cuphead meets Doom meets 1930s noir, and it's sentences like that that make us love indie games. Okay, back to another sequel to a beloved indie classic. Slay the Spire didn't invent roguelike deck builders, but it perfected the formula so brilliantly that we ended up losing a lot of sleep because we just keep saying to ourselves, just one more run. Slay the Spire 2 keeps that same addictive loop. Climb the spire, unlock new cards, build your deck up, fight enemies, grab relics that boost your abilities, and pray your luck holds out. Every run up the spire is unique, every card is vital to building the perfect strategy. The core formula is as irresistible as it ever was. But now it's bigger and slightly more unpredictable. More powerful cards, more unwieldy relics, more unforgiving enemies, and there's even a few new mechanics like enchantments, a quest system, and even timeline mechanics for you loreheads to dive in and learn about the game's world. Add to that a whole bunch of new animations and visual effects, and Slay the Spire 2 is shaping up to turn us into full-blown insomniacs in 2026, because we simply won't be able to stop playing. Okay, this next one will also make it hard to sleep, but more so because you'll be too terrified to ever turn the lights off ever again. This is Reanimal, and it's the next big horror game from the minds behind the haunting Little Nightmares, and this time it looks like they're going even darker, which we didn't think was really possible after Little Nightmares 3, but hey, if anyone can do it, it's these guys. You step into the shoes of two orphans exploring a hellishly infested island, crawling with grotesque animal mutations that are just asking to reappear in my nightmares. Like, seriously, what even is that? But if that all sounds a bit too much to go through on your own, don't worry. Thankfully, you can team up with a friend to take control of the sibling, which will hopefully make the whole thing seem a little more survivable. Ugh, I'm never going to be able to look at a sheep the same way again. Okay, enough horror. How about a nice, peaceful, relaxing farm sim filled with simple tasks and life sim elements and... Wait, oh hold on. Okay, right, this game is also after my nightmares then, is it? This is Neverway, a game that marries cozy homestead living with an eldritch horror aesthetic and a constant creeping dread. Everything starts off with all the usual farm sim story beats you'd expect. Your character quits their dead-end job, escapes a remote island, starts fishing, farming and crafting, and then becomes the immortal herald of a dead god. You know, as you do. So you'll have to deal with all the problems that naturally arise when an alternate demonic dimension starts leaking into reality. You know, battling demons, unearthing crypts, escaping ghouls, all the while trying to maintain your new farm life and even navigate the dating scene. We're not sure what's scarier, really. Okay, for real now, that's enough scary stuff. What's next? Maps! We promise you, this isn't another bait and switch. This actually is a wholesome game that is simply about one of life's simplest joys, maps. And get ready to hear that word a lot, because this game is called Map, a game about maps. This is a game that focuses purely on the joy and satisfaction of plotting out points on a map and just going there, investigating any little nooks and secrets you might find along the way. You'll be exploring a small archipelago of islands and using your tools to successfully charter all its treasures and natural wonders. No big quest markers or GPS arrows, just you, your map, and your own intuition. I don't know about you, but that sounds incredibly relaxing. Oh, and to nail down how much this game loves maps, every character's vocal lines are composed solely of one word. Can you guess what that word might be? So, there you have it. A handful of indie games we're incredibly excited for in 2026, and that's not even counting all those incredible AAA games that are in the pipeline too. We had a whole separate list video for those. But what about you? Did we miss your most anticipated indie? Let us know if there's a creative little indie you think we should be keeping an eye out for in the comments below.